Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Midnight Movie Mania. I am your host, John, and with me is my co-host, Alex.
Bonjour.
Right then,
Happy January.
oh yes. Oh, that reminds me.
End of January.
I meant to say to you last podcast, it's a year since you joined the podcast.
Ooh, happy anniversary to me.
Yeah, and if I've counted it right, which don't count on that one by the way, this is your 20th podcast. So,
Ooh,
yay. Or 19th, one of the two.
yeah. 20, my age.
Mm, yeah, that's what the
On
boy.
the inside.
Yeah, that's what the boyfriend said. I'm 21. Yeah, plus 25. Anyway, right then. Now we're doing Alex's pick. Um, what the hell is it called? Oh my god, I was gonna say Pikachu's Revenge. Sorry, Pokemon.
No,
Sorry. Pokemon. Mewtwo. Mewtwo. I can't speak. Mew Two Strikes Back.
evolution.
Oh, excuse me. So, as you can not you can take the reins here because I know practically nothing of Pokemon.
Yeah. So, for those of you who don't know, I am a big Pokemon fan and a card collector. Um, Good time for me to plug Mr. Alexander Rips on all your socials, especially on YouTube. I could use the viewers. Anyway, um, and because of that, my pick for the January Blues theme is the Pokemon movie Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution, which is a almost shot for shot remake of the original Pokemon, the first movie, which was from I don't know, I can't remember, 1999, I think. It was a
Yeah,
long time ago.
98, 99. Yeah.
Um, and it was released, this version was released on Netflix in 2020, just pretty much right at the beginning of the pandemic lockdowns. So they had a captive audience. Um, the main difference, though, between this and the original is the animation style. So obviously, the original, the art style, the voice cast is exactly the same as you would find in the TV show. And it takes place at some point during the original first run of Pokemon, the Indigo League season.
See, I was going to ask that.
And yeah,
Is it the actual voice cast? Because Brock sounds wrong.
no.
Brock sounds like he's been chain smoking since he was 9.
hmm
I was like, what the?
That is one of the differences is they chose to go with a different voice cast for whatever reason. So the voices are different. The only constant is the narrator's voice, which is the same narrator that you hear in the Pokemon TV show.
Kidding.
I believe even up until today, which is Roger. I wrote his name down here. Roger Parsons.
Hmm.
Um, he used to go by another name, so sometimes he's credited as I think Greg somebody, but he goes by Roger Parsons now.
Hmm.
So he's the only constant in that sense. But yeah, every other voice actor in and we're talking about the English language version, the dubbed version,
Mm,
versus the Japanese version of the movie.
yeah.
Um, yes.
For this one, I talked to one of my friends, and they told me to watch both versions. Watch the CGI version and the original dubbed Japanese version because that
Uh-huh.
will explain what the 2019-20 cut out, and it explains the movie more. I was like, okay then. So I watched the CGI one first, and was like, what the fuck is going on here? Then I watched the Japanese version, and I kind of got more of the plot. So why did they cut that 20 or so minutes out?
So
I mean,
the original movie, the Japanese or what they call the complete version, features a prologue which shows a young cloned Mewtwo, um, with the professor's daughter, who is also a clone. She had died, and he had cloned her out of a place of sorrow, I guess. And so it adds a lot more to this story in terms of where Mewtwo sees himself in what his place in the world is. Um, and specifically, like, blurs the line for him between, a Pokemon and a human. The reason it was removed for Western audiences um, is because it was just deemed to be too sad and depressing, um, which, it kind of was. So that piece of context is kind of not there in the original Western run of the first movie, and obviously it was not present in the remake,
Mm.
which we're talking about today. Um,
Yeah, because I
yeah.
was asking myself, why did Ash suddenly come to life when all the Pokemon cried? I didn't get that until I watched the Japanese version, and there's a drop line saying that Pokemon tears have the power of life, so that explains how he comes back to life. Because I was like, why the fuck's he come back to life? I mean, so
I mean, without that context, just 'cause magic, these things happen. You kind of have to suspend your disbelief because,
yes,
we're talking about creatures that aren't real
yes.
and have magical powers, essentially. So it's perfectly acceptable to assume that that crying Pokemon could bring someone back to life or turn them back from being stone. Moving on to, I got some little bits of trivia here. This was the first Pokemon movie to be in full CGI. The other movie that utilized CGI for the creation of the Pokemon creatures was actually Detective
Mm-hmm.
Pikachu,
Yep.
which was, I believe, released in the same year. Like I said, it was a near shot-for-shot remake of the original Pokemon the first movie. There were some slight differences, a couple of minor script changes, but the original screenwriter was still credited
Mm.
um, posthumously because he did actually pass. They had to get permission from his estate to use
Mm.
the original screenplay. So this does have uh, two people listed, I believe, for
Mm.
screenplay and direction as well. Another difference from that original, like I say, is the art style. This one is full CGI,
Mm.
which kind of had mixed reviews, leaning more to the negative.
I don't know.
It's
To me, it felt like a cutscene from a video game. Because that's what my boyfriend says when I showed
Mhm.
him it this morning. He's like, "Oh my god, it looks like a video game cutscene." And I have to agree with him. It does. It looks so much like a video game cutscene. It's like, wow.
It's very strange because the characters themselves are very plastic
Mm.
and shiny, whereas they're against all the other effects, which are very near realistic, like the water and the storm and all of these kinds of effects look very realistic by comparison.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a really weird combination of this kind of cartoon style turned plastic doll almost against, realistic water and buildings and other effects. So it was kind of I would say mixed reviews, but probably leaning more towards the negative. I guess it depends who you ask. Um, I didn't hate it. I
Mm.
didn't hate it. It's a little odd, especially if you're very used to the original movie, I think.
Mm.
For a lot of people my age and a little bit younger, I guess millennials in general, who were fans of the original movie, uh, it's almost a little bit of a letdown in some senses when it comes to the art style and just in general. There were a few other changes to the movie. For example, when Team Rocket shows up. In the original movie, they show up in a Viking ship,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and Meowth is strapped to the front as like
Mm-hmm.
a masthead. Whereas in this movie, they show up in a mechanical Lapras boat, and Meowth is captaining the boat. And
Mm-hmm.
it kind of made, like I said, you have to just suspend your disbelief. It's kind of like the Superman thing and Clark Kent.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever they show up, it's obviously them to the viewer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a cat driving the boat,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
no one thinks, oh, by the way, this is Team Rocket, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They always just seem to forget that.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems a bit. Because this is the first, second, and third time I watched this thing. The first time I watched it was Wednesday afternoon,
Mm,
and it was a CGI version, and I was shell shocked.
mhm,
And then I
mhm,
found the original cartoon version, so to speak, the '99 version on YouTube, and I watched that, and I went, "Oh, okay, okay, I get it now." But somebody said to me, "No, no, watch the Japanese," and I found that on YouTube. It was dubbed, so I
mhm,
watched it, and I went, "Okay then." And I've got to say, the Japanese version is the superior version to me because
mhm,
the CGI one is just it just looks like a cutscene from a bad video game. I mean, the
mhm,
sort of English version of the original '99 version was all right, but it was all over the shot, I thought. Whereas the
mhm,
Japanese one's more linear. The story's more, it tells you exactly what's happening.
mhm.
So yeah, yeah.
I would say that's pretty typical as well. A lot of anime content, the Japanese version is often, there's a lot of nuances that are missed in translation, whether it's intentionally. I think of Sailor Moon, for example. Two of the characters, when in the Western version, oh, they're cousins. These two new Sailor Scouts come along that are cousins, but something seems kind of off. Well, of course, in the original Japanese version, they are lovers.
Get it.
Um, so, you know, that obviously was kept from Western audiences because they didn't want to promote homosexuality, I guess,
Yes.
for children.
Yeah.
Um, that's just one example, but a lot of times, a lot of things I'll say get lost in translation. There are some things that have much deeper meanings and they never get translated properly or well um, when they're made for a Western audience and they're dubbed or whatever. So very often, if you're watching an anime, the best way to do it is Japanese with subtitles to really get the full understanding of what the heck is going on.
Mm-hmm.
And this is another example of that. The Japanese version obviously it was an extended version. It had additional
Mm-hmm.
backstory that helped kind of shape the rest of the movie, whereas this one, um, it kind of takes it in a different direction, and Mewtwo's his kind of intention or master plan or whatever is kind of less
Mm.
clear, I suppose, than it probably would have been with that extra piece of lore.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Um,
Yeah. Exactly.
yeah. Just looking at my notes here, see if I have any other trivia I can share with you. Oh, yes. Another piece that is probably due to fan backlash more than anything. During the intro credits, there is someone that appears like a pirate-like person
Mm.
to challenge Ash to a battle. And at one point throws out three Pokemon. And in the original version, those Pokemon included a Golem, which is a rock and ground type Pokemon, which Pikachu electrocutes and it gets knocked out. Um, for fans of Pokemon, you will know that is not possible because that type of Pokemon is immune to electric type attacks.
Yes, because rocks
So,
don't conduct electricity. I mean, so
right, ground type Pokemon are completely immune to electrical type attacks. And so, in this new version, they replaced the Golem with a Drowsy, which is just a psychic type Pokemon and would most likely be knocked out by a single electric shock in this case.
mm,
Um, but it's kind of shown time and time again in the show that Pikachu is almost overpowered by comparison to other
hmm
Pokemon, for whatever reason. Just because it makes good TV, I guess.
no, the
Yeah,
reason I heard was, or read rather, was because he's not in a Pokeball. He has more love for his trainer, aka Ash. Therefore, he becomes more predictive and more powerful. So maybe there's that.
that could track. I could see that. I know that it was incorporated into the games. I don't know how far along, but the more your Pokemon, there was like friendship points, and the more friendly or affectionate your Pokemon was for you, it had certain there were certain benefits to that. Like it could withstand, say, a critical hit, and it would still have one health point left because it didn't want to upset you. Um, so I could totally see
Mm,
that happening.
get it, get it.
Um, what do I have for you here? Oh, the only other piece, the ancient Mew carving, which we see in the new version, is kind of this very, um, do I want to say majestic? I don't know. It's a very basic kind of elegant kind of looking designed Mew in this circle situation. For fans out there, you'll know that the original Mew carving was much different and way cooler. And there's if you were a person that attended the movies way back when, you got an Ancient Mew card that had that design on it. And, that card now is worth however much. I don't know. I haven't looked recently, but it's a cool card, it's a cool design, and I think that's something they probably should have kept in. It's kind of iconic when it comes to kind of the lore and the storyline. So that's just my little bits of trivia for you. The plot,
Well,
essentially,
yes, that's interesting.
um, this Professor Fuji has, and this is just taking it from the English dub version, so it's not including that kind of prologue piece. Um, and a team of scientists create a clone of the mythical Pokemon Mew from a small piece of like a small fossil item, like an eyelash or hair or something, um, just to see that they could. And it does seem like they were maybe contracted by Team Rocket or specifically Giovanni of Team Rocket, because eventually Mewtwo does kind of break free when he realizes he's kind of trapped and being used as some kind of scientific tool. Um, and Giovanni of Team Rocket arrives and kind of says that he can give him purpose in life. Um, at which point he takes Mewtwo away, places him within an armor designed to quote unquote protect him, but is actually to kind of, um, the word I'm searching for is leaving me, kind of like squish down or subdue his powers, um, and also kind of prevent his escape at one point. Um, and this actually comes up in the TV show as well. There is a point where you do see Mewtwo fighting for him in his gym in Viridian City. Um, and at one point, escaping. He flies out and all the armor comes flying off. And you can actually see that as well in the opening credits of the original Pokemon show.
Hmm.
You see Mewtwo flying away, all of his armor flies off, and he kind of just disappears. And that's when Mewtwo kind of goes off back to this island where the destroyed, well, there's barely a lab there. It's just a crater basically in the ground. And that's where he sets up his new base of operations, which ends up being this gigantic, wild palace with a big underground kind of secret lab where he starts cloning Pokemon. And he finds or seeks out the best trainers in the world, and sends them an invitation for a battle and claims he is the strongest Pokemon trainer in the world. And that's where our protagonists come in. Ash, Misty, Ash, Misty, and Brock, um, as well as their Pokemon. They're taking a rest, and this Dragonite appears. He's got a letter for them, and that's when they get the invitation. There's a little hologram lady who says, "My master wants you to come for this battle, the strongest Pokemon trainer in the world." And of course, Ash is an idiot. Um,
And
and he's
Brock
like,
is
"Yeah, absolutely. Strongest person in the world wants to battle me? Hell yeah. I'm on
yes,
the board. People know who I am."
and Brock is horny because of course he is.
Is irrationally horny. I, I, I don't know. Again, this is something that probably translates better in the Japanese version than it
Mm.
does in the English version. Honestly, I don't know. I haven't actually sat and watched like a Japanese subtitle version of Pokemon before, but it just reads as weird, I think, in the American version. But that's just who he is, and that's who we remember him as. So they go to the harbor nearby, I guess, which is where a boat is allegedly going to be, or ferry is taking off to go to this island. And of course, a whole bunch of trainers are there with their Pokemon. But Mewtwo has cooked up using his psychic powers this huge storm, huge hurricane that's preventing the fairies from working. And there's a lot of upset trainers, and the strongest among them decide that they can make their way to the island using their Pokemon. So one of them flies, one of them swims across, um, etc. Well, amongst the three of our main characters, they do have some water type Pokemon that may be of help, but not really. Like they're smaller and less helpful in this kind of situation. But fortunately for them, this Lapras mechanical vessel shows up with Team Rocket, who of course they don't recognize as Team Rocket because heaven forbid they open their eyes. And that's what it always bugs me. Like Meowth is there. He's a talking cat, and he's the only Meowth that talks. So how do they not know?
So that's going to be
How do they not
one
know?
of my questions. Why is Team Rocket's cat the only Pokemon that talks more than one word?
So, one of the episodes it's explained that when he was young, he was kind of alone, all by himself in the world. Um, and at one point, he sees this female Meowth on television or in a movie or something and falls in love with her. And so he decides that he needs to go to Hollywood and meet this girl, and the only way to impress her is to learn how to talk. And so he is also the only mouth that's incapable of learning any Pokemon moves because he used all of that, I don't know, energy or whatever you want to call it to learn to speak. So he can scratch, but that's the only move he knows. and he gets rejected and ends up being an outcast, a talking Pokemon. And that's how he comes across Jesse and James, who are essentially the outcasts of Team Rocket, because they're kind of, well, they do suck at their job, basically. They have one job, and they're not ever successful, really, in capturing this Pikachu. So that is why he can talk.
Okay then. Right then.
Hmm. Um, so obviously they're going along on this for some reason pedal boat, which then also has like a turbo boost button. What? I don't know. And then of course the storm is pretty bad, so it capsizes. That's when the water Pokemon come out and help out. Um, and eventually they find their way to the dock at this island, which, you know, sure. And that's where they meet the woman from the invitation, who Brock is able to discern is in fact the missing Nurse Jenny that I didn't even mention that, but there are posters of a missing nurse. I'm sorry, not Nurse Jenny, Nurse Joy.
Mm.
Um, Again, how people don't know
Yeah,
is
shock,
beyond me. Nurse
surprise.
Joy looks the
Yeah.
same in every single city. So, anyway. But she has no knowledge of this because she's obviously under the psychic influence of Mewtwo and doing his bidding. But she takes them upstairs, which is where they meet the other trainers that were successfully able to get across the water. Um, their names are irrelevant because I actually don't know that they were really introduced properly. So there we are. There's a bunch of different Pokemon there. Um, eventually Mewtwo reveals himself. He comes down in this ominous beam of light, and that is when everyone realizes that Mewtwo is in fact a Pokemon and not a Pokemon trainer. And they quickly learn Mewtwo is a very strong Pokemon and that he has cloned the three starter Pokemon that children get to choose when they start their Pokemon journey at the age of 11 or 10. I can't remember which is Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle. But he has the evolved versions, which are slightly different from the originals in that they have a weird pattern on their skin,
Mm-hmm.
which kind of I don't remember why. I feel like that was explained in the original movie why they have that pattern, but the other clones don't. So that could be a miss, I think. Would have been way easier to follow the battles that happen later if there was a distinct difference between the clones and the originals.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, then we move into essentially this battle between these three clones and the non-clone versions of these Pokemon, which doesn't end well for any of the good guys. And at that point, Mewtwo decides, you know what, I'm taking all of your Pokemon and cloning them. And so out come all of these balls that are able to capture all the Pokemon, with the exception of Pikachu initially, who for some reason being Pikachu, is able to outrun them, electrocute them, all of these things. Ash goes after him because Ash, again, is loyal to a fault and is an idiot. Almost falls off a giant spiral staircase. And ultimately, Pikachu is caught in one of these balls. And sure, why not? Ash jumps from the staircase after this ball,
Mm-hmm.
catches it, and is directed down this chute with all the other balls. And that is where they end up in this secret lab underneath, which is where the cloning machine is. And also, coincidentally, Team Rocket is standing there and providing narration of the whole situation
Mm.
because reasons. I mean, what did Team Rocket provide, really? Nothing.
Although I do
That's
love the
what.
fact her going, "Who's that Pokemon? It's blah."
Right.
What the hell it was, and it's like, and of course, what's his name? Meowth gets cloned and he's like, "No,
Hmm.
not my tail!" And they pluck a little bit of fur off his tail, and there's a Meowth just sitting there going, "Meow." It's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? So,
I don't understand why the clone wouldn't also be able to talk. I feel
mm,
like it should. Anyway, I guess the real reason that Team Rocket is there, because they don't actually provide anything useful. Um, the real reason they're there is because of Meowth, because he is that connection between what the Pokemon are saying and what the humans are saying. So he's able to translate
mm.
um, some of the things that are happening. But yes, Pikachu, all the Pokemon, they're cloned, and eventually the machine blows up because they destroy it, and the clones escape. And that's when we end up moving into this huge battle situation between the clones and the originals, between Mewtwo and the original mythical Pokemon, Mew, who has appeared and is there to try and fight against Mewtwo and not let him get away with his plan, whatever that is, which isn't 100% clear, honestly. Big battle rages. You see the two Psyducks slapping each other, then getting a headache. Then the other one slaps the other one, then they get a headache. Um, and it gets to a point where it's sad. Everyone's all beaten, they're bruised, and it's just kind of depressing. And Mew and Mewtwo go to give this big, I don't know, energy attack kind of situation. And again, Ash, the idiot that he is, or the hero, if you like, stands between them because he doesn't want them to fight. He doesn't want them to kill each other. And because of this, is turned to stone. I don't know why, but he is. And he falls to the floor. Now, for anybody who is a millennial or perhaps a 20 something and may have watched this in their youth, this scene is probably a turning point in your life. It is something that we all remember is when Pikachu is trying desperately to bring Ash to life, and it is completely unsuccessful, and Pikachu starts to cry. Then all the other Pokemon start to cry. Then the audience starts to cry.
Some say this
If
is
you
the
don't cry,
some say this is
hmm?
the Gen X slash older millennials Atreyu moment
Hmm.
from Neverending Story, where the horse gets killed and
Not a dry eye in the house. I will say I did not cry watching this
nope.
version. I may have got a little bit in my throat, but that's about it. Um, I don't like that in the original version, he's clearly stone.
Hmm.
The texture, the color, he's a stone statue. In this version, he looks like he's made of chrome
Mm.
because he's so shiny because of the animation style. And I don't know why, but it's less emotional. Like that makes it less emotional to me.
Hmm.
Like I feel like the stone, I don't know. It's just what you remember, I guess. Um, but anyway, um, all the crying, the tears, and then all of these tears magically float along the arena and land on Ash, and Pikachu's tears land on him, and then he is completely revived. And Hugging ensues. Everybody realizes the error of their ways, and Mewtwo and Mew are watching, and Mewtwo, I think this is the point where I can't remember the exact quotes, but something along the lines of it matters not the origin of one's birth or something, um, more so like what they do with their life or the path that they choose or something along those lines. There's a quote, you can look it up. I'm not going to. So that's the moral of the story. Uh, it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, what you look like. All that matters is how you choose to live your life and treat other people,
Mm.
which is not a terrible thing to teach children.
Mm.
It doesn't matter, where anyone's from or, who they are, whatever. It's about how they treat everyone around them.
Yeah, yeah. Except he then goes, nobody should remember this lesson. It just wipes their memory. I'm like, well, what is the fucking point of telling them to? Doesn't matter where they come from. Treat everybody equally. Treat everybody nice. Don't start fights. Don't start wars. Don't have differences. Don't have this, that, next, and don't concentrate on the differences. Concentrate on
Hmm.
the sameities, if that's a word, in each person. He goes, nah,
Hmm.
just wipe it all off. Screw it. Then they go,
Well, unfortunately, that is a lazy storytelling device because it allows the movie to fit within the narrative of the TV show without being specific.
mm-hmm,
So the TV show can still continue, but they have no knowledge of what happens in the movie.
yeah,
And so that movie could really happen at any point during that first season of Pokemon. Well, at any point where he has those particular Pokemon in his roster, I guess. Um, but yeah, if they remember all of that, obviously they would need to be talking about it in the TV show, which they don't want to happen because then it creates that spot, right, where they have to like make that connection and da 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 da. So that's really the only reason why he wipes their memories. And he's like, it's probably best you don't remember any of this.
mm,
Really?
yeah.
I
That
mean,
is
they probably should.
lazy writing. That's what it is. That is just lazy
Yeah.
writing. I mean, Jesus. Dear, oh dear.
Um, and then yeah, everybody is I guess goes back in time or
Mm,
something because they're all back at the harbor before this, like at the beginning of the storm. The storm passes and they don't know why they're there. They don't really seem to care why they're there, but they just, okay, let's go on about our adventure.
mm,
Why ever we were here, that doesn't matter. And then we see Team Rocket is still on the island. Um, I don't know if they were impacted by the memory wipe. I would assume so, but that's not made clear. Um, and they're just living their best life on this abandoned island for some
mm.
reason. Till we see them again in the TV show, I guess. Um, and then, Mewtwo escapes with all of the clones and they go off. And there's actually a piece after the credits roll where you see them heading towards this mountainous, foresty kind of region, which I believe is where the sequel to this movie takes place. There was I say sequel. There's obviously many Pokemon movies. Um, we're at 23 movies now, I think. But it was specifically a TV movie, like a made-for-TV Pokemon movie, which was essentially an hour-long TV episode called Mewtwo Returns. Um, and it picks up from kind of that point,
Okay
is
then.
my understanding.
Okay then.
And there we are. That is the long and short of it. Hopefully you learn a lesson. And yeah.
Oh dear.
So, what do you think?
The one thing I want to know is how long was it between Mewtwo returning to the island and building that gigantic lab and the battle arena and as such before he went, I'm the ultimate Pokemon master? I mean, it just seems to pop
I
up.
believe I read online somewhere that several years passed from when he escaped to that point in the movie. Um, well, that can't be true. I guess several years from when he escaped originally from the lab, but if he escapes from Team Rocket, who had him in that armor, that plot point occurs within the TV show. So days, weeks, maybe months.
Okay then. So, okay, then moving on. What else was I going to say? One thing that annoyed me about this movie, and I think the reason why I didn't watch the TV show, is every single fucking Pokemon screams their name constantly. It is really irritating. It's like, really? You've
Uh,
got like Psyduck, and it got Pikachu, and stuff like that. It goes Char, 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 and it's like, oh, enough. Especially the giant crane like bird that had the spy
mm,
camera on its neck, screeching constantly as it's flying in circles. I'm like, wow,
mhm.
that's so irritating and so bloody annoying. It's like, oof,
Mm-hmm.
it's just annoying. I found. Oh, by the way,
Imagine if you lived in the Pokemon world.
could you imagine? Yeah. By the way, what happened to Ash's parents? He's supposed to be 10, and
Hmm.
Misty is supposed to be, I believe, 12, and Brock is supposed to be 15. So
Hmm.
hence why he's a horn dog constantly because he's 15.
Hmm.
And it's like, what the fuck? So what the happened to the parents? The parents just go, okay, there you go, son. There's your bag. Now go and run free and catch as many monsters as you can. What the fuck? What?
Well, it's Disney syndrome.
Hmm.
Every Disney protagonist is missing one or both of their parents, um, for reasons. And in this case, uh, from my knowledge from watching the show, it's never made clear who Ash's father is or where he is. Um, I don't know that it says that he's died or anything like that. His mother is very much alive. At one point, he catches a Mr. Mime, which he sends to his mom, and Mr. Mime becomes their kind of live-in maid, basically, and cleans the house for her.
Oh jeez.
Um, because I mean, his mom just seems like such a busy woman, I guess.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, they just let their kids wander off at, age 10 or whatever. And
Hmm.
here you go. Here's a lizard that breathes fire.
Hmm.
Have at it.
Yeah, a turtle that spits out water. A mouse that
Uh-huh,
has electrical powers, and I have no
uh-huh.
idea what the other bloody starter Pokemon is off the top of my head. So,
Well, there's about 1,025 Pokemon now.
mm, mm,
So that's a lot of danger for a child to deal with, in my opinion.
mm, mm.
Um, yeah.
I read somewhere that what's his name, Jesse and James were queer icons, and I was like, ooh, okay then.
100%.
I'm going okay then. The whole perfect trouble, make it to double, all the theatrics, and it's like, oh dear
Yeah.
God.
They are absolutely queer icons, and very often when they do, they're they're always in some kind of costume of some kind, pretending to be someone else, and of course successfully making everybody around them believe that. And very often they are gender swapped. Um, so yeah, queer
Hmm.
icons definitely.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. One thing I do love about this is Mew is supposed to be this mystical, magical unseen Pokemon, yet it pops up constantly all through the movie. I'm like, can't you? Because was it Meowth notices it like 4 or 5 times, and he's like,
Hmm.
"Eh, eh," and he doesn't mention a thing about that, and it's like, what the fuck? I mean, even at the very start, the archaeology team that hunts for the temple, the
Hmm.
mystical temple, and it's like flying around the place, and you notice it. I'm like, what the fuck? How about you
Hmm.
open your eyes and pay attention to the fucking flying mouse? Fuck, it's supposed to be a squirrel.
Yeah. The rarest of all Pokemon. There he is.
Yeah, yeah, it's flying around already. It's like, whew, get in.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my god. And also, why is Mewtwo such a whiny little edge lord? It's like, oh, I'm going to destroy the whole human race and the Pokemon race because Pokemon shouldn't bow to humans and humans shouldn't take control of Pokemon and blah blah blah. I'm like, would you shut up, you whiny little fuck? You are such a fucking edge lord. It's like, oh, I'm going to sign up for, I'm going to this, I'm going to clone the perfect versions of all your Pokemon. Yeah, see, you're such a little brat. It's like, shut the fuck up, you whiny little shit. I mean, he worked my
Hmm.
last nerve, and oh my god! Oh yeah, and I've got to say, Ash, the sheer stupidity of that kid. Oh my god,
Hmm.
I was actually begging for him to be killed. I was like, please die here. No, you're gonna just jump off the big tower and fall down this big chute after Pikachu's
Hmm.
Pokeball and fight off the robotic hands, what the fuck it was. And I'm going, would you hurry up and die already? You're working my last fucking nerve also. It's like, and when he
Hmm.
died, I actually went, yeah, he paused it and gave a round of applause. I was like, thank fuck he's dead. Because he was working my last, this sheer stupidity of that little brat. It's like, oh my god. And they're all going, oh, you're supposed to
Yep.
cry at this. Oh, fuck off. He should be dead. He's
Yeah.
stupid. I mean, oh, dear God.
Well, you know what?
So,
It might delight you to know that he's no longer part of the anime.
oh dear, did they kill him?
And no,
Oh, oh well.
he finally won a championship, which
Oh,
he had never done.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, and then it was just new characters.
Yeah, I read that of what was it, 100 and something episodes. Ash never won a championship. He always came in like third or fourth, which means he's
Hmm.
a really sucky trainer. Then I mean, it's like God.
I think one of the problems with him is he has a lot of un, what's the word I'm looking for? He has confidence, but he doesn't deserve it.
Mm. Hmm. I mean,
Undeserved confidence.
even Mewtwo says to him, "Your Charizard is poorly trained." As his Charizard's a lazy son of a bitch. It's like, wow. And he's going, it's badly
Yeah.
trained, it's da 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 da. And I was like, yeah, you think? Because he barely teaches these things anything. He just goes, Squirtle, I choose you, and whatever the fuck it is, I
Hmm.
choose you, and firing the stupid balls on it. And it's like, what are you teaching him? Nothing, you lazy little shit. Oh, and
Hmm.
another thing that annoyed me, he treats Misty like she's a fucking maid. Like, they're at a picnic table,
Yeah.
and she's like, oh, help me put put the dishes out so because Brock is cooking some sort of stew, and he's moaning about, oh, I'm so tired. I've not had a second breakfast at some Pokemon Center. I'm so exhausted. Oh, I'm hungry. Oh, and he's whining, and I'm like, how has
Hmm.
that ever slapped you good looking, you little shit? Because you're such a whiny. Oh, then of course when the guy comes over and goes, oh, I'm looking for Ash, and let's have a fight. And he goes, yeah, yeah, and jumps around the place, and she goes, where?
Hmm.
I thought you were tired. And he's, no, 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 no. I've got energy for a Pokemon fight because of course he does because he's a lazy little entitled shit who is way too cocky for his own good. It's like,
Hmm.
and of course he beats the pirate just like
I
that.
guess some kind of pirate.
So, so yeah, yeah, and it's like, oh my god, I don't know. I mean,
Hmm.
like, is this movie? When I first watched the CGI version of this thing, I was shell shocked. I went, the fuck did I just watch? I mean,
Hmm.
although I did love the the Pokemon fight at the end with the Psyducks going Sigh, and they slap each other. And sigh. As I said, it's like two gay guys fighting over a top at a gay bar. They're going sigh, sigh. And the other ones that Pikachu was going Pikachu, Pikachu. I was on the floor howling with laughter. I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. And of course, um, Mew flies up to the sky and they see the moon, and Mewtwo goes, "Oh my god, it's the moon!" And that's how he remembers the little girl, whatever the hell her name was, taught him what. This is the sun. This is the moon. The moon gives us light at night, and the sun keeps us heat, and the wind can sometimes move us forward. And no, it's malarkey. And I was going, so all it took was you to look at the moon, and you said it would drop your egotistical world domination, destroy all humans thing. So
Mm.
in what 5, 7, 10 years or weeks or how long since you've escaped, you didn't look up and go, "Oh look, the moon. I'm cured." It's like
Hmm.
wow. So I mean,
Yep.
dear oh dear, it's like Kieran, Kieran. Although I will say, I've got to love the fact how Pikachu gives these large, weird Pokeballs around for the money. He like shocks about 6 or 7
Hmm.
dozen of them as he's going up the spiral staircase. I'm going, how high is this spiral
Hmm.
staircase?
Yeah, and I don't even know where that staircase leads.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And of course, in the basement is Team Rocket because they had to climb through a sewer
Hmm.
to get into the palace or laboratory stuff. And it's like, oh god, of course, they're all going, "Oh look, they're all clones, and this is that Pokemon, and that's that Pokemon, this is that." I was about to go, "This is whatever it is, and its powers is this, that, next thing, and its height is this, that, next thing." And I was like, wow. So, mm, I mean, like I say, this movie just was not for me. I mean, it just
No.
the characters annoyed me. The
Hmm.
animation looked like a cutscene for a cheap video game. It just looked
Hmm.
stale and cheap. And oh, by the way, what the fuck did they do to Brock's voice? I mean, he sounded like a chain smoker, 50-year-old. And I was like,
Yeah, I don't know.
what the fuck did they do to his voice? I mean, mm,
I feel like the choosing this animation style kind of took some of the emotion away from it that you get from the original anime cartoon style. Um, you don't, the faces felt very expressionless throughout,
mm-hmm,
I felt, compared to the original. Um, Hence why I didn't cry when he turned into stone, I guess, or metal,
mm,
as it really looked like in the CGI version. Um, yeah, it's definitely the inferior version of the two things, which is why I felt it was necessary to bring it to your attention and everybody else's who listens to this, uh, because it's kind of crap.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, this thing, I don't know. It just feels like this was done on a cheap. It feels like this was done for like what
Uh,
5, $10 million budget, and that was it. Because the animation's not spectacular. The voice acting's kind
mhm,
of flat, and
mhm,
it just looks off. It looks like, as I said, it looks like a cheap cutscene from a 2010s video game. It just looks
mhm.
cheap.
Yeah,
So there's that.
absolutely.
I mean, uh,
Um, and just as a mm, sidebar, I guess, one thing I forgot to mention, it did receive worldwide release on Netflix, which was the first time that a Pokemon movie had premiered on a streaming service, and it was on February 27th of 2020,
hmm,
which again, if any Pokemon fans are listening, February 27th is uh widely known as Pokemon Day, which is, back in 1996 when Pokemon was originally released as a game. This year being the 30th anniversary, which is another reason why I wanted to bring this one up because I
Hmm.
thought it'd be kind of a nice segue into that.
Okay. Okay. Oh, I think out of all the questions I was going to throw at you, like I said, I want to know why was it
Yes.
Meowth? Was that what he calls him? Was
Mhm.
talking. By the way, what is with that gold coin thing? I mean,
Well, he's supposed to look like one of those. Um,
yeah, the luck
I don't know
cats
what
with
they're
the
called, but
yeah, yeah,
the lucky cats
mm,
where the paw
yeah, yeah,
moves.
yeah,
I have one on my dashboard, and
yeah.
it does that when the sun catches it. Um, yeah, and then one of his moves in the game is called Payday, and when he performs that move, you get more money when the battle's over.
Interesting. Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Right down, right down. So, of all these first generation Pokemon, shall we call them, the first 150, who's your favourite?
Depending on the time in my life that you ask this question, would depend what answer I would give you. When I was a kid, I liked Jigglypuff. Not just because I was a young gay child, but because in the cartoon he would sing, everyone would fall asleep, and then he'd draw on their faces while they were asleep, and I love that. Um, as I've grown, uh, Eevee has become a favorite, definitely, just because it's able to evolve into a whole bunch of different types. Um, and I also really enjoy Gengar, which is the one, well, Ghastly, Haunter, and Gengar are the only ghost Pokemon in the original generation.
Hmm, okay, then,
Yeah.
okay, then. Right down, right down. So, shall we bring this to a close then? Or have I beat up Pokemon
Yes,
enough?
it is. If you, here's my kind of closing piece on this. If you are a fan of the original, I think you should watch it. If you haven't, um, just to see, just to see it again, and maybe at this point in time, I mean, we're talking about, 30 years basically since the original movie came out. Well, not exactly, but almost. You probably got kids of your own. So watch it with them. They might enjoy it.
Mm, mm. Okay then, well, hold on to your Pokeballs and hide your Squirtle because this is going to go bad. This thing, like I said, when I first watched this on Wednesday, I was like, okay, I'm quit podcasting. Screw it. I've seen a lot of shit movies in my 10 years. This is my 500 and, oh, I don't know, 10th podcast? Maybe 15th, depending on how many I've done over the years. This was
Mm.
hands down one of the worst things I've ever seen. The cheap CGI, the awful, awful voice acting, the terrible writing, and what the fuck was with that rock version of the theme song? That was
Mhm,
shit. I was like, Jesus
mhm.
wept. And
Not even the best cover of the theme song.
no, 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 no. And Ash worked my last nerve. I was like, just die already, you little shit. You are working my last nerve. Just die. I mean, pass on the
I
buck.
will say, in the movie's defense, it was a movie written for children almost 30 years ago.
Hmm, okay then.
So I guess we kind of have to look at it through that lens.
Hmm.
But yes, as an adult watching it, especially an adult that is not for yourself, who is not a Pokemon fan, I can see how this would be shit.
It was. I mean, for your argument, myself and my partner watched Labyrinth on Friday. It still holds up, and Labyrinth is what, 40 years old? 50, no,
Mm-hmm.
40 years old. So yeah. Um, so we've watched all these kiddie movies from the 80s, which is barely kiddie movies today because some of them are like, whoa. um,
Mm-hmm.
but this thing just I don't know. It just looked like a cheap cutscene from a bad video game from the early
Mm.
2010s. And I have to say, it's really badly written, really lazily written. And it's like, and the whole more of the story is look after yourself, be kind to others, blah 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 blah, is wiped out by Mewtwo. It's like, what was the fucking point of the entire bloody movie then? Oh my god. So all I can say
But
is,
it's in the hearts of the children who watched it.
oh please,
And now we're better people for it.
oh please, kids are nothing but little bloody well brats. That's all I can say. Anyway, um, would I watch this again? Fuck no. 3 times is enough. And would I recommend this? No. So I think I've just killed Pokemon, but dead. So
As the most expensive or most profitable franchise on the planet,
mm,
I think they'll do okay with uh, with losing you as a fan.
yes, I remember right. Number one is Pokemon. Number two is Mario. So
Mm,
or is number one Mario? Number two is Pokemon. It's one of these
no,
two. So
Pokemon is the highest, the most profitable franchise in the world.
okay,
It's insane.
okay, okay. Right then. So let's wrap this up then. Now, you can follow us on Instagram at Midnight Movie Mania Pods. You can follow me at Instagram. On Instagram at Here's Johnny79. And you can follow Alex on Instagram at.
Mr. Alexander watches. And like I said, make sure you follow me on all socials, including YouTube, at Mr. Alexander Rips for my Pokemon content.
Okay then. Okay then. Right then. On February, rather for February, we're doing Fierce. Oh God, I can't speak. Fierce Female February. Basically female-led movies. Now, I have picked Charlie's Angels from 2000, and Alex has picked Kill Bill Volume 1. Or has he changed his
Mhm.
mind?
No, it
No.
is still Volume 1.
Okay then. Okay then. Right then. So that should be fun, because Charlie's Angels is one of my ultimate guilty pleasure movies. It is so bad, it's genius. I mean, it's just, oh my god.
That doesn't need to be a guilty pleasure. It's a great movie.
Yes, so this will be fun. And I don't think I've seen Kill Bill in a good 15 years, so this will be
Mm.
interesting. So, yes, yes. And in March, we're doing a monster movie in March, so that should be interesting, which is where we're going to slide in the fan requested movie, Creepshow 3. So, that should be interesting.
Yep, never seen that one.
I think I've seen it once, and I've got vague memories of a guy with a big Cheshire grin smile with teeth. That's all I remember about it.
Oh, I
So,
don't like that.
right then, so all I can say is uh, get us out there and tell your friend to listen to this thing. Maybe not this one if they're a Pokemon fan, but we have dozens more, so
There you go.
right then. So all I can say then is a bye.
Bye bye.